Hi guys, Tarek's back. Like and subscribe for a lucky week.
El Dorado is a legendary city or empire of gold that was sought after by Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. The legend of El Dorado is said to have originated with the indigenous peoples of the Andes region of South America, who had a ritual of anointing their leaders with gold dust and then sending them off to a sacred lake to wash off the gold. The first European to mention the legend of El Dorado was the Spanish conquistador Gonzalo Jiménez de Quesada, who heard about it during his expedition to the interior of Colombia in 1536. According to the legend, El Dorado was a city of gold, located somewhere in the remote interior of South America. The legend of El Dorado captured the imaginations of many European explorers and adventurers, who set out in search of the fabled city of gold. Some of the most famous expeditions in search of El Dorado were led by Francisco de Orellana, who explored the Amazon River in the 1540s, and Sir Walter Raleigh, who led an expedition to the Orinoco River in 1595. Despite numerous expeditions, El Dorado was never found, and the legend eventually faded away. Today, the term El Dorado is often used metaphorically to refer to any place of great wealth or opportunity. The mystery of El Dorado lies in the fact that despite numerous expeditions and searches by Spanish conquistadors and European explorers, no one has ever found the fabled city of gold. The legend of El Dorado captured the imaginations of many, and people were willing to risk their lives and fortunes in the search for the elusive city. There are many theories about the origin of the legend of El Dorado. Some historians believe that the story of El Dorado was a myth that was created by the indigenous peoples of South America as a way to protect their gold and other treasures from the Spanish invaders. Others believe that the legend was based on the actual existence of a wealthy indigenous civilization that was destroyed by the Spanish conquest. Despite the fact that El Dorado has never been found, there have been many gold discoveries in South America over the years, including the famous gold rush in California in the mid-19th century. Today, the mystery of El Dorado continues to intrigue historians and treasure hunters, and the legend lives on in popular culture as a symbol of wealth and prosperity. The first European to hear about El Dorado was the Spanish conquistador Gonzalo Jiménez de Quesada. In 1536, he led an expedition from the Caribbean coast of Colombia into the interior of the country in search of gold and other treasures. Along the way, he heard rumors of a great city of gold called El Dorado. Quesada and his men encountered many indigenous peoples during their journey, and some of them told stories of a great king who covered himself in gold dust and then washed it off in a sacred lake. The lake was said to be surrounded by gold and treasures beyond imagination, and the king was believed to be a godlike figure with incredible wealth and power. Quesada became obsessed with finding El Dorado, and he and his men searched tirelessly for the city. They explored much of the interior of Colombia and encountered many different indigenous cultures, but they never found the fabled city of gold. Despite this, Quesada's expedition was a success, as they discovered many other treasures, including emeralds and silver, and claimed the territory for the Spanish crown. Why El Dorado is called City of Gold? El Dorado is called the City of Gold because of the legend that it was a wealthy city or kingdom located somewhere in the remote interior of South America, filled with vast amounts of gold and other treasures. The legend of El Dorado began with the indigenous peoples of the Andes region of South America, who had a ritual of anointing their leaders with gold dust and then sending them off to a sacred lake to wash off the gold. The legend grew over time, and by the time it reached Europe, it had become a story of a fabled city of gold, where the streets were said to be paved with gold and the buildings adorned with precious metals and gems. The legend of El Dorado captured the imaginations of many, and people were willing to risk their lives and fortunes in the search for the elusive city. Despite numerous expeditions and searches, El Dorado was never found, and it remains a legendary and mysterious city of gold. Today, the term El Dorado is often used metaphorically to refer to any place of great wealth or opportunity.